Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of Erin's Book Club. Excuse me. It's such a beautiful day out here today. I figured I would do my book club and my book review out on the deck where, I'm nice and alone and I can enjoy the sunshine. So we've kind of come a cornerstone in the book club reviews that I've been doing as of late. This is the last book, or I guess companion book, of the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. So the one that I'm going to review today is Stephen King's The Wind Through the Keyhole, a Dark Tower novel. And again, before I get any further in this is not going to be spoiler free. So if you have not read this book or any of the others of the Dark Tower series, stop watching this now, go read the series, and then come back and watch this, because I will be spoiling this book and probably the Dark Tower series as well. So let's start with this one. What I did was I read the entire Dark Tower series and then I came back to this companion novel. And I have never really read a companion novel before. It's new to me in any series. I actually don't read a lot of series, so the companion novel for this was a little bit different. I have to say, opening up the main characters that were taken from the series, Roland and Jake and Susanna and Eddie and Oi, they all seemed very shallow to start with. There wasn't much substance to them. Jake seemed to be kind of like a angsty, gothic kind of feel kid, where in the series he was more of a real gunslinger. He went through hell and he struggled through hell like everybody else, but he fought it, you know what I mean? Whereas in the beginning of this book, he kind of was a whiner almost. And really all of the characters that I knew and loved were very, very shallow. Hang on, I am slipping. There we go, that's better. So that was kind of a shame. And then the story almost seemed kind of shoehorned in there. Like you could really do this story at any time, because it was just when they stopped and rested from a storm that he brought up the other two stories. And really, a storm could happen anywhere throughout the series, so the storm really felt put on just so that they could read the or go through the stories. So that part was kind of hard. And then the two stories that were in the book were both split into each other. Like the main story with the little boy who was trying to find or who was survived an attack by a were creature of some sort, or a skinwalker. That one started, and halfway through that one, the fable that Roland had heard from his mother was kind of interjected into that. So we had three stories in one, all of which were kind of interjected into each other, which made following the stories a little bit hard, because yes, when he told the middle story, the first story had reached a bit of a lull, but I didn't like the way that was put together. Now, that being said, the stories were wonderful. The stories were true Stephen King. You really felt for the innocence of the boys who went through hell and who were so young to struggle through what they struggled through. What I didn't like, though, is in both of these stories they had a super happy ending and no innocents were killed. And I know that sounds awful. Like, who am I to say, you didn't like the fact that innocents were not killed? But any of you Stephen King fans out there know that he takes a great pride in getting the reader to know a truly innocent person, one that's truly good, and takes time making you fall in love with him. And just when you think he's going to be okay, he kills one off. And it's usually the most innocent one that doesn't deserve it. So in the three stories, I was thinking he would at least kill one of them off, and he didn't, which just doesn't seem like King. I mean, it was a very enjoyable story. I love the Western feel to it. I love the gentleness of the boys. I love the similarities of the boys, but it just didn't seem King-like. It was almost like a book that was kind of thrown out there as an aside. And the foreword in the book says that King really enjoyed getting to know his characters again and that kind of thing, but I don't know, it just felt really put on, and it didn't feel like real King. I enjoyed it. It was a good story because King is very good at his craft, but it just didn't feel like part of the series. And I guess that's what a companion book is. It isn't meant to be part of the series, but it steals characters from that series, which I kind of don't like now because it takes away from the characters of the series. Now, at the end, when the storm has passed and they're all getting ready to go again, then the King characters from the Tower series, then they get real. Then they get more like the characters that I know from the Dark Tower. But I don't understand why they couldn't be that real in the introduction as well. So I guess all in all, I really enjoyed the book. The cover art, I don't know if you guys can see it, is just stunning, just beautiful. So that part I liked. It was a good quick read. It was tiny for Stephen King. And I enjoyed it. It just wasn't what I know as King. So thank you very much for listening to me prattle along about Stephen King and my book club here. And I will let you know when I have another book read. Have a great day, guys.